At iRestart, we hold a pretty firm belief about how beliefs are formed, and we're always open to changing our beliefs. For now, here is the current model to which we subscribe. We all have beliefs. Those beliefs trigger thoughts. Those thoughts, in turn, engender emotions. And those emotions generate an experience. So let's break this down a bit. Let's say you think you're awesome at your job. The belief is that when you're in a particular environment, in this example, your job, you have the belief that you're good at what you do. And if we take it down to another level, maybe the unconscious belief associated at the workplace is that you're a good person. So let's say that this belief is running for you. Then the thoughts that may surface as this belief is running during the time that you're at work is, wow, I really love my job. The feelings might be something like delighted or happy or excited or driven or motivated. And then the result or experience is people think you're awesome and treat you with respect. What is probably going on at a deeper level is that you feel valued by your coworkers, validated by the people around you, and perhaps you may even have a sense of belonging with your team. But the question is, where do beliefs come from? We get information at varying levels: externally referenced information and internally referenced information. This video covers an example of externally referenced information. Family constellations is a modality developed by a man named Bert Hellinger, who wrote two important books, Love's Hidden Symmetry and Acknowledging What Is. Family constellations is really about beliefs passed down transgenerationally. They are, in essence, unconscious contracts that come down from the lineage and play out in our day-to-day lives. Some of these patterns or experiences that repeat themselves leave us delighted and motivated. Others may leave us feeling baffled and frustrated as to why they continue to happen. So let's dive a little deeper here. So here's you. Here's your mom and your dad. And here are your grandparents and your great-grandparents. Obviously, this keeps going up the line for quite a period of time. We all come from two lineages with long family histories. Histories woven in with war, famine, death, violence, mental illness, the list is long. And because of this, we need to start asking the questions of why we do the things we do. This diagram shows how both behavior and beliefs can be completely threaded throughout the generations. Notice what's happening here. Notice the bleeding that's happening and overlapping of the generations. So you have your mom and your dad that you interact with. Your dad has his mom and his dad with whom he interacts or interacted with, and the same for your mother. And it goes on and on and on. Notice the bleeding that is happening and the overlapping that is happening with the generations. So for me, there really can be no doubt that beliefs get passed on transgenerationally. The question is, those that are unconscious to us, how are they impacting our lives? Let me share with you a personal story. Hiranya was my great-grandfather and a wealthy landowner in the area of India that is now called Bangladesh. When the British came in and divided up India, they carved the land into different parts, creating the countries we now know as Bangladesh and Pakistan. Because of this, my great-grandfather lost all of his land, his home, and in essence the place where he had grown up and spent all of his life. He was forced to relocate to a new town called Bihar. This was, of course, devastating for our family. My grandfather had a very similar experience where he had a beautiful home in Bangalore. My grandfather had a very similar experience where he had a beautiful home in Bangalore and lost it all to the government of India when he and my grandmother were moving to Canada. This story actually continues in this pattern. My father built a home in the Bay Area that was appraised for quite a bit of money during the real estate boom, where anyone could sell anything for any price. He foreclosed to the banks after dropping the price in half and still not getting anyone to purchase the house. And yes, I too had my own version of huge financial loss. I invested a great deal of money into my second company that in essence crashed and burned. And to keep in step with family ties to government intrusions, I was audited. Not as severe, but still keeping up tradition involving the government and money. This is a quote that is really important to me as you begin your journey of self-exploration. This quote is from a channeled entity called Master Cascafayette. And I love this quote because I think it speaks volumes to our journey here at iRestart. My observation is, and has been, that every time I am confronted with the experience of moving forward, I am inclined to resist and avoid becoming more of what I really am. My experience has demonstrated to me that every time I am confronted with moving forward, I am also confronted with allowing someone else to stay exactly where they are. It has been in discovering more and more workable ways to reconcile the illusion of conflict in this dilemma that has contributed the most to my own conscious evolution. To be more direct, my experience is that the source of suffering is in the ways we suffer for other people is an unworkable attempt to say, I love you. In our families, we actually say unconsciously, because I love you so much, I am going to be just like you. In fact, I may choose to be worse than you so you can see how much pain I'm in, and hopefully at some point you'll snap out of it so we can finally all just be happy. The unconscious obligations we carry around with us out of devotion and love can be overwhelming and sometimes thoroughly debilitating. We all want to feel that we belong in our families. The question we need to ask ourselves is, as we move into becoming master self-regulators, how do we hold ourselves accountable for that which we cannot see yet and that which we can, and thus make the choices that impact us in a way that allows us to be happy? When we start to choose to let go of the patterns that no longer serve us and decide to experience what we truly want, we free up our capacities for different experiences, the experiences that we actually want. Do the spirituality exercise to find out where you might notice some unconscious contracts tying you to your family loyalties.